Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Gen V Season 2 review series, Episode 7. I'm the Fired from Blockbuster. I fucked it the whole name. I spelt it wrong, and I put the Fired Blockbuster employee, Travis Snell. Either way, Blockbuster let me go. And I'm joined by...
I am the diaper pledge, Taylor Field.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for the penultimate episode of Gen V. Finally, we said we had a busy summer fall, and it's slowly winding down. All in the feeds. Alien Earth is there, Peacemaker, all the episodes of this. I think there's one other one we're missing. Oh, I guess Dexter as well. So yeah, it was busy, but now after this, soon we'll just be doing it, and then after that, Fallout. So soon we'll have bunch of shows and movies still to cover, but a little slower for us, thank goodness. And as you can see with that, Weekly Geek returned with Dylan and Kirkland, so you'll be getting more of those. There'll be a couple, obviously, especially around stream time where the schedule just kind of gets all over. Same thing Travis told you, we'll be back next week. I've been off, but most importantly, second most importantly, I'll promote the big thing after, but I guess third most importantly, first is Extra Life, second's Patreon, but third for a big cast we're doing this week is on Friday, 7:15 PST. We will be live in person in studio, me, Taylor, and Kirkland doing a newscast, possibly a Bond draft as well. But yeah, we did that in June, and we're like, oh, we're gonna start doing this monthly. July got really busy. Obviously, August or GV Day, we had like 12 hours of cast, so that was fine. And then September just got busy. So that's still a plan, is try to do once a month. And this one is going to be our last patio pod. I've told these guys to dress warm. We're going to do it outside. We're going to have the fire pit going, and it's going to be a good time. So look out for that. And we'll still do the monthly. But yeah, 7 p.m., 7:15 p.m. PST will be live, us three. And those are always good time. That was one of our biggest episodes this year, so we appreciate it. So if you like seeing us or hearing us in person, that is coming up this Friday, so that'll be a good time. And yeah, the other stuff I'll talk about a little bit later. Taylor Field, what do you think about the penultimate episode? Did you enjoy this episode? Happy with the reveals? And are you happy and excited for next week? Worried? Curious? Where are you? Obviously, non-spoilers.
I'm excited for next week. I really am. I'd say this episode felt short. I mean, the runtime was definitely short, but it didn't do a bad job of kind of giving us a little bit more progression in the story and just kind of giving us a bit of a reveal, obviously, leading into that finale. So I am quite content with this episode. It was high octane and intense, and it had a good degree of humor thrown in there too with one certain character. But as for the rest of it, I quite enjoyed it. I thought that there was a lot of good stuff going on. I mean, it's not anything that's going to be groundbreaking or breaking down barriers or walls in the overall narrative. It just kind of gives you and sets you up with a very big development in our story, and that's it. And then it's kind of leading in, and I think you can kind of see where things are going to tie into the boys now at this point with certain stuff going on. So
Can you?
I think so, because I feel like this isn't. I don't.
Confident.
My prediction is that we're not going to get this story resolved in next week's episode. I feel like things are just going to kind of tie into the boys big time.
Yeah, I'm curious about that because I don't know. They drop a lot of boys references and a lot of sorry, it's just a baby popping off in the other room and Emily's downstairs. I'm going to send her a text. It's supposed to be 8 p.m. and all I hear is they're supposed to be having a bottle bedtime. Yeah, it's. I don't think you're wrong. I think if they choose to do that stuff, they can. I just wonder how much of the baggage of this show, and baggage in a good way as far as lots of stories, will they take over? Because I don't know if it's an easy pickup, but maybe you think it is an easy pickup when we're going to spoil it. Because I feel like I also feel like the issue that came up this episode could also just be resolved next week, right? Like very quickly. And it's like, wow, that was close. Like I think there's one thing that could play into it, but I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to hear your examples, what you think that is. But what else? Anything else non-spoilers?
No. Again, pretty light, I'd say. Just overall, I'm happy with where we are at now with this week's episode. Last week's episode, I was feeling like and they introduced, yeah, because they last week's episode. I can't really say that because there were two characters last week's episode, which I feel like unless the ties comes full circle with next week's episode, I don't know how I feel about why they were introduced. If that makes sense, because this episode doesn't really do justice for those two characters.
Okay.
I
I'm
feel
gonna
it's
I'm gonna I'm gonna have to walk with you again in spoilers for
it just feels
for
like
you
it
laying
feels like
down.
an equivalent of like, okay, these two characters that were in last week's episode. To me, it feels like, hey, we just threw
Oh
Mando into
yeah.
the Book of Boba Fett here all of a sudden. Like, it doesn't really feel like it fits because of how this week's episode went, unless the finale ties it all together somehow
Yeah.
with those two characters. But I don't know if that's gonna happen. I feel like, again, and that's where I think it's just gonna connect into the boys, and we're just kind of that's another big piece of the story, right? With the boys merging into it.
Yeah, because even like right now, we can talk in non-spoilers. The only two connections we've had from this show to the boys, obviously, okay, there's four, I guess. Really, you've had the deep cameo multiple times, but that's meant nothing, right? You have Starlight, but that really didn't lead anywhere unless the finale ends with her like doing a Nick Fury, like, "Oh, I hear you," you ever heard the Boys Initiative? Like maybe she could just take in some of our heroes. So maybe that'll pay off. But as right now, that didn't pay off. Homelander wasn't last season, but that just helped capture them, right? And that was it. It wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't go, oh, they're mortal enemies now. They just were kind of just any other random soups on the block. And then the other one, oh god, I'm forgetting. It was some. Oh, I guess there's actually five. I guess with Giancarlo, which we'll talk about in this episode and last episode. As far as okay, that's a tie, but we don't know where. The other one was now I've already forgot her name. We remembered it. Whose name was it? The head popper, the original Blood Lady. Oh man, because
Oh,
we forgot about it, and then they brought an episode. We're like, all right, that's her name, and then we forgot again. Newman, right? Newman
yeah,
something.
Victoria Newman.
Victoria Newman. So she has the same powers as Marie, but that didn't really go anywhere because she's dead, right? So that's the thing where it's all the connections so far. They've connected to the boys, but all of them have either been cut short very quickly or not gone anywhere. So that's where I don't know. That's what we'll have to on spoilers. I don't know where you could get to. Like I think all the stuff that's happening now, they could just put on the side and you don't have to deal with the boys. I get your two characters you're talking about, but I don't even know if they're gonna have like a big impact on the boys, right? They might just be kind of around. So it's interesting, which I understand, right? You don't want to feel that people have to see Gen V and vice versa, because you get in that situation where there's the homework problem and it's kind of not like it was 10 years ago. We hear that with the MCU and we hear, Peacemaker, people go, oh, James, you said there wouldn't be homework. So it's like, I feel probably that's because there's more content than ever. People still want things connected, but they don't want to feel like they have to watch it. So I don't know. That's interesting. Well, I guess we'll talk more in spoilers. But yeah, anything else?
Nope.
All right.
Mm-hmm. I
I
was
thought it'd be
expecting you just to gulp and go for it.
I thought there'd be something else, but then he said no as a mid drinking, and then he just turned to Yoda. That doesn't help me at all. But yeah, I thought this was a good episode. I thought this was a good setup. We got a big reveal, and I thought that was really well done. There's something with the reveal that I'm a little worried about, and it's just purely comes down to, I'll say, acting choices. So we'll see. But I think that worked out. I think we discussed a lot of things, and I'm happy they went certain ways. Some good moments for some characters. I think they've done a very good job this back half. Where with Sam, I think we all kind of go, "Oh, this good guy turns a little quick, a little." Even last week, they touched upon some things where it felt like he was good with the romantic situation going on, and that was kind of a closed book. And Meyer spoilers, this episode just comes right back up. It's like a big issue. You go, oh, I thought last week was you were cool with it, and it was kind of hey, this thread might be picked up down the line, but then this week it's nope, we're right back. So that was a little strange. And then I will say that I'm real. Oh, that's what I was trying to say is the stuff with Kate. I think they're doing a really good job now, and because that's been a big complaint for season. Yeah, a little bit of season one, but the first half of this season where I felt like that character was kind of all over the map. But I think they've created a good path and a path that led to some very tension-filled moments. So I really enjoyed that. Yeah, it's tough to talk about because I do think they did do quite a few reveals here. I do think this is has to at least get a season three because I feel that next week there's you can
Really?
yeah, because I feel you can tie because the only way you can't like how can you tie all their stories up? You can tie a couple, but there's a lot of stories still hanging in the balance unless they just all get plateaued and died. Then sure, but I still think I'm kind of with I think Mike said a couple weeks ago where season three is almost like an epilogue. It's almost like you could rebuild the school or it's after the fall of the boys, and that kind of gives you some context there. I think that's what you could do, especially in this episode. I feel some bad stuff is going to happen to this school. So I feel there could be somebody on the good side that wants to rebuild or help with this school, right? So I think if you were to end the show here, it would feel very odd unless it's a very bleak ending. So I guess we'll have to wait and see, and we'll talk about that in spoilers. So yeah. You got nothing. I got nothing. Anything I want to do, I want to dive deep into. So we'll be right back after this first ad break. And we are back. And two things before we continue go. You didn't have to get that ad break if you go to Patreon on the phase 2 tier or up. Obviously, there's phase 1. You can send questions, just kind of like a tip jar. But the other stuff, you get all the goodies, all the benefits, a variety of different exclusive episodes. If you go to producer tier, not only do you get to pick a movie or something for us to retrospect, you get to get all the episodes ad-free, our entire backlog, every single exclusive we do. And as we've said, which you'll probably hear around Extra Lifetime, there'll be some beefing up of that tier because that's our biggest tier, and people put a lot on that, but we appreciate everybody that does any other tier, and you get your choice, and we completely understand if you're just hitting download on the video or download on the audio. We completely are fine with that, and we thank you big time because all of you are supporting us, each and every one of you, and we really appreciate that. And also we would very much appreciate to join us November 8th, Extra Life. We are raising funds for BC Children's Hospital, so look out for that. That'll be a very fun time. We're going 24 hours. All the funds are tax deductible. All the funds go towards surgeries, care for children, recovery, needs, all that stuff. You can go to the link down below that has everything that the money goes towards. It has our schedule and has all the goals that if we get to 500, 1,000, 115, like all that stuff, that it'll either unlock stuff of the night or maybe some content down the line. So we'd very much appreciate that. And if you can't donate, we understand. If you want a shirt, you can buy one of those too. I do have to check the stats here. I think Jurassic Park has taken the lead, but I don't know which one. But I'm not surprised. That Jurassic Park one is a quite a good shirt. But yeah, so you can go get the shirt. Those funds go to the charity as well. And then yeah, and if you can't donate, as we've said before, just on the day of, anytime, come pop in, watch it, share it, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever. Give it a like because that helps it push up the algorithm. And sometimes we get people that don't, well, many times we've got people that donate that have never heard of us. They just like what we're doing for the show, like what we're doing as far as a cause. And yeah, that just helps spread awareness. So we thank you very much. We'll be pumping this again, obviously, until November 8th because it's a big deal. And it is our 9th year. And if we can, I think it's raised somewhere over the 2,000 mark. That'll get us to about 20,000 Canadian for Extra Life overall 9 years, which would be a incredible milestone. So if we could hit that, that would be, I think, just popping champagne. So big thank you to everybody. Taylor, you said some of the stuff's bleeding into the boys. What's going to be bleeding over there? What's Maria sending over there?
So I feel like I can't remember his name, but he always plays the villain in everything. He's running the burger joint or whatever. My gosh.
Clancy Brown?
No, no.
Because Clancy Brown's a villain and everything.
Carlo Esposito.
Giancarlo Esposito, yeah. I thought you were describing Clancy Brown. Because he's a burger joint. Isn't Los Pollos, that's like a chicken place,
chicken
right?
joint, thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
see?
chicken.
I was thinking
Los
Krusty
Pollos.
Krab or whatever this hell his
Krusty
voice was.
Krab. Yeah, so I feel like what they introduced with him and his granddaughter, which Victoria knew his daughter last week, they didn't touch upon any of that this week. And I mean, you're right. We could see that season 3 kind of tackle this story, but I feel like whatever is going to happen in this finale with Godolkin killing off all these soups and stuff, I feel like you have two different ideologies here. You have Homelander, who, even though he kills his own kind, he's just a fucking lunatic. When you look at the finale of last week's episode, or the finale of last season's, you have Marie, who is being called out by Homelander for like killing her own kind, all that kind of stuff, and then you have Godolkin, who doesn't care about his own kind. Like, he's killing diaper baby,
shows.
who's like, yeah, hands for feet kind of a thing. It's like, oh, just let's fucking kill you here. So he's going around and he's going to be executing all of these different guys, and I feel like he could kill Homelander if he wanted. I mean, he could control Homelander, which is fucking crazy. So
But we've had that conversation about Marie. We still don't know if she could kill him or not too, right? Because then it's like, well, Marie could just do it as well. But I don't think any of these I don't think a character from Gen V will be the one to take out Homelander, in my opinion. I feel like it has to be.
I think it'll be Butcher
or
for sure.
Huey.
Or Huey. I could see Huey.
I feel
Yeah.
like Butcher. I feel like Butcher could sacrifice himself to set up that kill shot. So it's in a way that he doesn't kill him, or they just kill each other. Sort of situation. Because you never know with these finales, right? I feel like for years we're watching Game of Thrones. I don't know. I guess I don't want to spoil it. Let's give it 30 seconds. But everyone's like, "Oh, Arya Stark, she's gonna fucking kill Cersei. No matter what's gonna happen." Then what's happened to Cersei? She just dies in a cave holding the love of her life, right? So you never know with
Hmm.
finales. I feel like sometimes creators like, "Oh, let me I get it. Sometimes you want to swerve them and do something different, but sometimes the most obvious choice is the best choice. And I kind of feel like that with
Yeah.
Butcher or Huey, because Huey to me does make sense. Like he was the main character, he's been leading up, so I could see that. But if I could see them. I don't know. I worry them doing something schmoozy with Homelander, and it doesn't. I guess it could always be a son too, right?
Yeah, always could be that. I
Yeah.
don't think we're gonna see Homelander at all in this season like we did last. But
Hmm.
I feel like you're going because they brought Godolkin back like this. I feel like it's the same kind of route as what was his name?
Soldier Boy.
Homelander's. Yeah, I think it's like a Soldier Boy kind of setup because not in that sense, but I feel
No,
like
I
you would
know, I know.
have you bring back this like main heavy hitter. And you're just gonna bench him. You're not gonna remove him from the storyline. So I think something could
Unless Marie
happen to
kills him
like
right away. That's my worry, right? That she just pops him.
but then we got to remember about this whole like future thing that Marie's sister is detecting here because she's saying like the room is different from where Marie was there. And like, okay,
Yeah.
is this that's obviously going to be tackled in next week's episode, I imagine. I don't think they would leave that on the table for like crossing over to the boys or something like that and
But
expecting you
season
to
three,
watch
you
it.
could leave that, right?
You could. I
Yeah.
don't see them doing. Are there any other shows planned to take place after The Boys concludes?
No, well, we don't know because there's the whatever Vought Rising, but then there's that boys spinoff, which again, there could might be doing too many. It's gonna be like John Wick and whatnot. But there's that. Remember, it's like
That's
the
the
boys
prequel,
Mexico.
right?
Yeah, but that's Vought Rising. Then remember, they're doing the boys Mexico. So I think they're doing a whole like soups and stuff in Mexico. So I don't know where that takes
Mm,
place. If that's like concurrent, after, before, etc. My theory is I think it's gonna be after because they haven't said. Let me see if they've said anything. The boys. I don't even know if it's called that. Maybe it's something else. It is just the boys Mexico. Let's see. The pilot episode's development. The project process has been described as slow, with Crip noting that deals are still being worked out. Let's see. Executive producer by Diego Luna and Gal Garcia Bernal. All they said is the plot details are scarce. The showrunner just said it'll have a totally different tone from the original series. So
hmm.
could really have nothing to do with any of this stuff going on too. And plus, I think that's probably a safe thing because it's a different country, right? Because the way
Yeah.
they're kind of posing it as Homelander, even though he's not the president, he is the president in a sense. Where I don't think he's not the president of Mexico, right? So that's the thing where you could do different things. So, yeah, I still think with the vision, all this stuff, I think that's gonna be safe for season three. I think with Hadolkin, that's his name, Hadolkin, right? Godolkin.
Godolkin.
Is Hadolkin the Dragon Ball?
That's the Ryu, I think, Street Fighter.
Oh yeah,
Godolkin.
yeah. They shouldn't have named him that. But or God, what did he? He's the Oompa Loompa from the Wizard of God, what is that show? Wicked. Or am I getting them wrong? Who's Oompa Loompa and who are in Wicked? Who's the little people?
The Munchkins are
Yeah,
from
he's the
Wicked.
Munchkin from Wicked.
Oh, that's where I recognize that
Yeah.
fucker.
He's the one that's in real life
Yeah.
dating Ariana Grande. So like, because they're
Yes.
yes.
Holy shit.
That's one thing
Wow.
before we get into story wise. I've not seen this guy in anything. I've just seen many memes because he played SpongeBob in this, and he's with Ariana, and there's a whole wild story with how they got together. So you can look into that, and that I feel like a lot of meme culture there. Um, I wasn't vibing with the performance. I've never seen this guy. So okay, I saw him in Wicked, but I didn't try. Like I wasn't paying attention to him. He has what? I don't know, 20, 25 minutes of screen time. He's just like trying to cuck her sister so he can be with her on like whatever the fuck they're doing in that movie. All romance stuff sucks in my opinion. Sorry, Mike. Um, so for me, I wasn't digging the performance. And here's the thing where if he gets killed off next week, it won't be that bad. Because to me, it's like, oh, that's why you got Hamish Linklater, who to me is a much better actor than him. And he was really the big bad for 7 episodes. And then the finale, it was just so you could do the twist, right? Of we talked about a couple weeks ago, that theory, you were right. And I think now that it happened, Joe from Multiverse Minutes and on G-Way DC Lines, he had also had that theory too. So I'm happy they went that route. And I think it was done like aces. No, like notes there. I love that Marie was trying to do the hero's play and thought, oh, this is the reason. Like, heal him up, he'll help us out, which I think is like pretty naive of her. But at the same time, they've kind of made her a naive character, so that kind of works out. And I do love while that whole scene's going on, that Kate's the one that clicks it of like, fuck that Cypher, and it kind of works. Like, it just kind of feels like there's just certain even like isms you feel like she might understand because she has a similar power set as him, right? So in just the way he's speaking, and she also spent the most time with Cypher, right? I think out of all of them.
Yes.
So that's where it's like, oh, even his mannerisms. I don't know if there was a 1-to-1 as I felt Hamish Linklater and him really vibe the same. He felt different, and it just that's why I'm kind of fine if Marie does just fuck him up next episode, and that's it. And that was just the season because I wasn't like, oh, I love this character and this actor so far. I'll wait another episode, but it felt kind of goofy to me where Hamish Linklater has a scary, obviously you just watch Midnight Mass, like that guy can be scary when he wants to. And I wasn't scared of Godalkin here. I was very much like, oh, go back, go back to the other way. But that reveal is great. I love that Hamish Linklater put on some weird, almost like Boston accent. We're like, I'm just Gary. I worked at Blockbuster. I have a cat named Buster. Like, I'm doing a terrible boss, but like I don't know what was boss, but it was something. But he's like, oh, my back's broken, my ribs are broken, and this poor guy has no idea where he's been. So yeah, he's definitely not making it to the boys. But in retrospect, now I'm kind of fine that I'm like, oh, that's why they got him because he can play a good villain. I just wasn't vibing with the actual character reveal. Nothing writing was bad. I think it was pure just acting choice, and we'll wait and see what happens there. I guess it's very Mad Eye Moody and what is
Mm.
it? God, Prisoner of Azkaban, right? Like when those reveals happen, Mad Eye Moody's like pretty scary, and then when you get him as a good guy later on, you're like, I kind of wish he was bad because he just was such a good performance there. So we'll see, but I think there's a really good chance he's just dead next week. I think that's it. Marie pops him. I think he's gonna do because let's say if you keep him alive. I personally don't think he would have a big story in the boys. So either he has to go missing and he's on the run, or he's just dealt with, and that's where I think that he's just going to be dealt with per se. Because technically, like lots of the bad guys from the first season 1 of Gen V got taken out, right? That's why we had the new headmaster and everything. So I could see this guy being taken out, and then I don't know what you do with season 3. I think it's a fault, but I'm going to say that I don't know if I'm going to say he's going to die next week, but I'm going to say he's not in the boys for a big amount. If it's a scene, a cameo, sure. But you think that he will be? You think this will be a big story point?
I think he's gonna kick around. I mean, could I be wrong? Absolutely, but I think he's gonna stick around. He's a big name, part of the universe. So I mean, who knows? Like, I don't think Homelander is gonna pop up, but maybe you see Homelander appear, and he's like, "Oh my God! Like you're
Mm.
killing more students are dying at this fucking school." So he drops in again, and he just fights them or something like that.
I don't
Um,
know if Homelander would care that much, though. I agree with you that he likes to keep his own kind, but I think he's shown he will absolutely just kill them if he wants to. So I could see him being like, "Yeah, sure, kill hands for feet, guys."
hmm Yeah,
So
well, maybe yeah, that's true.
yeah, and I think that's another good allegory that I don't know if they'll spend much time on because they went into just, oh yeah, you must be in the bottom 10%. Oh, actually, bottom two. And I don't know if they will spend time. And I think same thing like that girl that was the cafeteria girl. They kind of brush past that. They could brush past this because I think there is a good story of we talk about this all the time, especially you, me, and Kirkland, where it's just like I think there's similar things politically we share, and then there's things differently. But I think we all can agree none of us are either hard on one side, where it's like no matter what this side does, I'm gonna support them, right? But that's where I think this character is kind of a allegory for that because it's you're not soup enough, you're not good enough, you're not right enough, you're not left enough, right? So it's like instead of being with you, they'd rather not you associate them at all, right? So, which we see a lot in our political climate, where it's like, oh, if you don't agree with everything this politician said or this party says, you're not with us. You can't be with us. You got to agree, and that's not the way it is. There's some things I'm left about. There's some things I'm right about. Like
What?
I consider myself left and more liberal, but I've said many times on podcasts, I'm all for the death penalty, which is not a thing, right? So I think with this character, you could dive into that stuff of what does it mean you have Homelander who wants Soups to rule and will kill Soups if he needs to. And then you got this guy who it is almost like you said with Soldier Boy. It's like, oh, he's a worse Homelander, right? But Homelander still somehow always manages to come out on top. He's always still the one hanging around kicking. But technically, this guy would be worse, right? Because I don't think he's going to look at Homelander and deem him not,
No,
not.
Homelander and Marie, right? They're the survivors of that same program. They're the God
Yes,
tiers. So
exactly, right. So I don't think they'd have a problem. So that's why I think they'd come to some understanding. But I think for other superheroes, that could be, and maybe that could be something. Maybe you could use this character as a way for other soups to turn on Homelander, right? Because it's just, oh, I thought you were protecting us, and then he's like, oh, well, Godalkin doesn't think this guy's good enough, and it's like, well, what if he deems the Deep not good enough, right? And what's the Deep then again do? Is he just gonna sit there? So there is some interesting things they could go into. Again, it's just like how much do they want the boys viewers to have to see Gen V? I don't know. That's a question because so far it hasn't been much, and I guess we'll see. Because even last season they were doing that whole the Homelander killer thing, right? But I think they because it was the weapon, right? That's what they're working on in season 1, and that did transition over to the boys. But at the same time, I think they did in a way where that's just something that happened. They didn't make you had to watch Gen V, where this is a big character. So I don't know. It's kind of a tightrope. We'll have to see because obviously finale's next week. He could just get popped and dead. And I think I'm on a 50-50 for my predictions as far as if he makes that or not. They could just do that and move on. Who knows what this blood room that Marie's sister's feeling of and whatnot. So we'll see. But what did you think of the actual, because I talked about, what did you think about the actual reveal of Godolkin and poor I can't remember his name, but Hamish Linklater was kind of like what your theory was. You talked about with your friend pitched you at work. You gotta talk to your friend now, and
he's gonna be happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking to him tomorrow. He wasn't there today, so I couldn't talk to him about it. But yeah, he's gonna be absolutely ecstatic that his theory was right. And yeah, just it all fit, blew my mind. So just that's all I could see uh, going into these episodes now. And yeah, that's when he was getting healed and everything. I thought, oh yeah, here he fucking is. This is the Godolkin, not even Cypher anymore. But it came close to where he was gonna off himself too in this episode. I feel like he's just giving up so easily, which is kind of wild because he could have just kept. Well, I guess the body, since he had to hide the body, his body was now at risk of being, like, it was starting to die. So he was just gonna kill himself off, I guess, and end it
Yeah.
sooner rather than later. So that makes sense. Why he was kind of rushing to that that endpoint. But no, I think the reveal was pretty awesome, and I think he is. What I prefer, his name is Hamish.
Hamish Linklater in real life. I can't Cypher obviously was just
Yeah, I would prefer the actor Hamish, who's and the Cypher character, over the Munchkin. But I'm very open to seeing what the Munchkin brings to the table here, because I definitely liked how he was talking very calm and cold and collectively in this episode. So I could definitely get on board with that. But it sucks to have that big name kind of just put to the side now because he was. I mean, I really enjoyed him. He was fantastic. And again, I'm biased because I'm coming off of finishing Midnight Mass the past week, so I'm definitely all about that
Oh, yeah.
actor
We'll
right
talk
now.
on Friday, yeah.
Oh yeah, he was super fantastic
Oh,
in it.
Christ,
So
come on.
yeah.
I'm rewatching it too. You made me. Luckily, I checked my letterbox.
you?
I actually rewatched in 2023, so I'm like, all right, it's 2 years ago, not too bad. Yeah, I can't talk about Midnight Mass and not watch. And well, obviously, you won't do it anytime soon. But when you do, because this is my third time watching it, because I watched it. We'll wait till Friday. I'm just saying when you do a rewatch, even at some point, it's even better because then when you got all the answers and you watch it, there's even some on the third watch. I was like, oh man, I never caught that before, and I did.
Really?
So yeah, just because I have the information out of the twist, you're like, oh okay, cool. So, but yeah, Friday check out. We'll be talking a little what we've been watching section. Let's see. Person here says, "Br Justin, prediction: Marie is going to remove the compound V from I'm gonna say Homelander system." You meant I think autocorrect got you with homemaker system. I was so confused. Like homemakers, but Homelander system, forcing him to live the rest of his life as incarcerated as a human. I would love that. I think that'd be very fantastic and fitting. Even if he wasn't incarcerated, just like even out in regular life. Like I know he'd probably be doing bad stuff, but if Homelander just had his no powers, I think that would be a really good end for like that could be worse than death, to be honest. So I think that's the only thing that's tough about that is though, it's like I would almost want an epilogue, like what was that El Camino movie of what is home like what
Mm.
happens to Homelander for just a day in the life. I like if they did a finale and then like an epilogue and it is just Homelander living this up. But no, I would be down for that. So it's tough because I do think it's a character that could also like that as a character if that you'd want to see kind of mutilate on screen as bad as that sounds for all the bad stuff he's done you'd want to see that character kind of beat to shit and just destroy it and the good thing is like I don't know I've never read the book so I don't know how it ends so I hope I don't get spoiled before that and obviously they've changed stuff but what would you rather Taylor would you rather him get a big juicy powerful death or would you want to be just sucked dry and he has to live a human non-suit for the rest of his life.
There, as I've come to learn in cinema, things that are more worse than death.
Mhm.
So I'd be interested to see what they can do on that front. I think that there could be a lot of fun that they could play with that and just that level of torment. So I think that's definitely the path to go with. But hmm. I could see like you pitched like Huey being the one to execute him or kill him. I think that definitely fits too. But again, would it be okay? He loses his powers. Marie just zaps him and takes away his compound V in his blood, and then all of a sudden you got Huey just holding the gun and just pops him in the head or something like that. Like it could be a hand in hand kind of moment. Like why would it just be limited to one? Right? He could turn human and then just get killed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Let's see here. Okay, so we talked about that, so we'll see. Um, yeah, he's killing people, and that's what. Oh, that's what I told my non-spoilers. Where I think the school could be at risk because he could kill a bunch of soups, and also that could get in some legal territory. And obviously, he's not like a teacher, but still, just all those kids getting killed on campus. I think it's gonna be pretty bad for that school, and that's why I do think season 3 still could happen there. You talk about non-spoilers, yeah. Giancarlo and the niece nowhere here. It was funny because we were talking about that last week. If they would only be a one-off, and we thought that could happen, and really, yeah, we didn't even see them all. They just left the compound. We didn't even see them talk to them, tell them that they're leaving. They find Marie pretty easily. Like I think they know where she's going, but it just. I guess I understand why Marie leaves, but it's just so funny when the characters just end up there. They fly over there. That's good. We got Sam and oh boy, why am I forgetting her name? Who's the shrinker, Ant Man, Ant Woman
Mm,
character?
fuck. What is
Why am
her
I
name?
forgetting it? Yeah, she's like the best character of the show.
Oh my
Oh
god.
man, yeah, I
I
can't
gotta
remember.
Google it.
Yeah, you Google it. So we got them. They had a relationship fight, which again, like I said, non-spoilers. That
Emma.
just Emma, thank you. That just didn't really work for me because I felt like we kind of tabled this last week and it's just brought back up, especially in the penultimate finale. It's like I don't think we have time to be dealing with this relationship drama. We had the sister and Jordan, right? That's the they them. I'm pretty
Hmm.
sure. Yeah. They had a good conversation about, whether they're with each other and whatnot. And then Kate and Marie, very good as far as Marie keeps healing all these people. Kate's asking for it. I'm not going to do it. And then she says, like, okay, I will heal you if you never use your powers on us any again. And she still doesn't even trust that. And then what I love the character stuff where Kate kind of has talked about, oh, with, what Vought does, they make you do. Like, I would never do this stuff again. Then later on in the episode, this is what I love when they kind of bring in that gray area. Marie needs to stop the team. They're running, trying to get to inside, stop Marie from doing whatever she's gonna do with Godolgan and all that stuff. And she lifts them up, and she's doing all that blood stuff, and she's telling Kate like, "Oh, if I heal you, can you make them go away?" And she's like, "I just said like I was never gonna do that ever again." She's like, "Okay, but I need you to do this." And I like that Kate stood on her ground and didn't do it because I actually thought Kate was gonna bite. I thought she's gonna okay and be like Marie and Kate. So I like that one. They're driving Marie so far that she's getting kind of obsessed with the hero's journey that she's pushing people away. But then two, that Kate is, we kind of said this past couple weeks that finally that episode where they stripped her down and put her in prison. That was really the start of okay, they're making her a good guy again because you're kind of embarrassing the character. But now for her to actually make some sort of hero's move of, hey, I'm not going to do that to these people that I literally just said I will never use the powers on again.
Hmm.
So yeah, I really liked that season. Like I said, I like what they're doing with Kate. And like I said, the Sam Emma stuff, I don't know, that felt kind of out of nowhere. But yeah, what do you think about the journey to the school, some of the stuff that happened in school before the Hadalkin stuff? Or Godolphin?
Um, yeah, I think it was. I really did think that she was gonna get healed. I really, really did, and I like that Marie kind of like stood her ground. And even when Marie was like holding them up and like fucking caught, gonna kill them almost. Jesus
I
Christ.
don't think she was gonna kill him. I think she's just holding them
It
back. I
looked
don't think she.
painful as
It looked
fuck.
painful. I won't lie there, but yeah.
But yeah, so I like that, and I like that she still withheld as like I'm not gonna use my powers on them, which is a lot of interesting tr- tribulation, I guess, for
Turmoil.
Marie. Turmoil, inner turmoil, yeah, because these are her friends and whatnot, and now she's just like she's turning on herself and turning on her morals and turning on her friends by thinking she needs to do this and needs to stop Cypher because now she's at this point where, hey, Kate, like I'll heal you and you can stop them, so you can, I don't want you to use your powers on them, but now I want you to use your powers on them for my own benefit and my own
Hmm.
gains. So it's an interesting, it's,
She's become what she's fighting against.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So she's got to be careful with that because it's gonna bite her in the ass. So
Well, and that's why I still think there's gonna be season three because I just don't think that Marie's gonna have a come to Jesus. Because what's the result? The next week they all meet up together, and she's like, you know what? I'm really sorry I did this, but I was just doing that for all of us and the team. And then everyone's like, yeah, Marie, we completely understand. I feel like this was showing Marie taking an extra step too far to do what she's going to do and kind of make those parallels to Vaughn. So that's why I feel there is going to be season three, so you can give them time to kind of fix their relationship with Marie. So
hmm,
especially her and Jordan. So
yeah, no, that makes sense, I guess.
because you couldn't wrap that up next week, right? And if you did, it feel very rushed, unless it's like a 2 hour finale, which it won't be. It'll probably be at most, I'm gonna say an hour, but I doubt even that.
yeah, yeah. It's hard. I mean, the whole theme has been Marie just kind of ditching her friends, right? I mean, that's how the season
Yes,
started when they're like, "Oh, you left us," and
and she did it
that's where
again
we
here.
are here. Well, she did it again here, yeah. So,
But that's what I mean. Do you think you could, if you, because when I said, oh, there's gonna be season three, you're like, oh, really? Do you think you can wrap up this group storyline next week with the good Dalton character walk around? Like, I don't think
um,
so.
I feel like you could. I do because
Hmm.
if you give us the full hour. And then you can kind of end it on that cliffhanger where this stuff will be tied off in the boys. I feel like one episode of the boys where you have a couple of those main boys characters in the squad with the college kids. I feel like okay, you could have then the Gen V characters, their stories kind of fleshed out, and you could kind of conclude the things that they've established in season 2 here. Especially if you get 8 episodes. I mean, that's a lot of stuff to fill. And with season 5 of the boys, we don't really know. Do we know what the kind of general outline is? I mean, we just know they're trying to kill Homelander. That it's his core. They
What do
seem
you mean
to
in general? Homelander's the goddamn president, pretty much.
president.
They gotta. It's just to me, yeah, it is kill Homelander.
So, and on top of that, we know that the virus that kills Soups has been written off. That's not a thing anymore.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, it's just kill Homelander.
just kill Homelander. Yeah, so I
He's the
feel
main
like
big
eight
guy.
episodes of just killing Homelander. I think you could do 5 episodes of them trying to get into the White House and eliminating him, and then 3 episodes of them with Gen V, and Gen V's kind of got their stories wrapping up and teaming up with the boys and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah. Is there anything? Obviously, we know about this, but polarity. Marie healed him up, so good for him. He's all good to go. And yeah, that is pretty uber power. Like Godolkin
hmm,
saving her sister's life, healing his tremors and seizures. That is pretty impressive. All the stuff that's going on there. So, um, yeah, no, I got nothing more to say other than good for him. I still worry for him being alive. I still think that's a character that could make a sacrificial play. Let's see. Is there anything else we missed from this episode? I don't. Nothing springs to mind. But for you, anything?
um, I really just I liked polarity. I
Mhm.
liked how he got healed up in here and had his moment where he was just coming to terms with how he treated how he treated like Andre and how he could have warned him and how things just could have been different. I liked all that a lot. I thought it was really good. So yeah, no, I'm excited to see where that is going to go, and I like that his power is that he can disrupt, not Cipher, Godolkin, and how he's basically going to really be able to be a powerful force or tool opposing him. And that fight scene too is just really good.
Yeah, that was
Like,
tons of fun. That was good. Like, oh, because I can't remember how they explain it. They explain some with polarity's power can kind of interrupt the mind waves that Cypher Godolkin's doing. But when he's like, "Oh, well, how can you get me if you don't know which one I am?" And then
yeah,
just
whack-a-mole. It's
yeah,
like
and it was a good,
fuck.
it was good editing, and they had Sam hit polarity like right away. And Sam's the best character to do that because he has episodes, right? And then they reveal, oh no, it's Cypher messing with them and everything. So that was fun, just going back and forth. And yeah, no, it was a good action scene there. So um,
Yeah.
yeah.
What did you think about the guy coming out of the dude's ass?
Um, that's fine. I will applaud this show for. I said before that I think you can only do the gross out humor, guy fucking the holes or all that stuff so much in these shows where it becomes too close to parody. But at the same time, people want that. But I think with some of these issues going on, it, I think I like the method what they've done this season where you get those, but it feels it's kind of every couple episodes. Then we go back and do something there, so it kind of works. Obviously it's just kind of random, so I could see someone not liking it, but that's just part of the boys' gimmick. That is the gross out sex stuff. And yeah, I don't need any vouchers that way. Looks pretty painful to get a whole person up your ass, but I don't know. I don't have superpowers. Maybe it's be something easy, but yeah, that's no pun intended, a shitty way to be a pledge, just living in someone's asshole for, weeks on end. So,
This is
it's,
the Deep's his way of going about it, right?
I could believe it. So maybe I would say don't join that fraternity. There's other
No.
ones out there probably.
No,
So they
God,
don't care
no.
about you. So
Oh,
yeah, no, that's all I got for this episode. You?
that's all I got.
There you go. So we'll be back next week for the finale. Hopefully lots of breakdown. Maybe not. I don't know. I really don't know. I think this finale, it's so interesting because I think with Gen V, obviously lots of stuff was going on with the boys, but it's still Gen V season one, lots of stuff was going on with that boys season and in between, but it didn't feel as it needed to tie in. It was tying in, but because the way the world is in the boys, where Holander's like ruling over everything and he's pseudo president, and the soups are really just killing normies and people are scared. This is such a direct of it's kind of spitting some plates here for other shows, right? But we'll see. I don't know if it's going to be just a big cliffhanger fest. It could also just be a big anything. Same thing. If it is you scoff at season three. If this is it, they literally could just kill Godolkin and then just wrap up all the stories and be off their race, right? So it's like I really don't know what it's maybe it's gonna be a combo of both, where some things are handled, some things are cliffhangers. I think we'll at least get one more cameo. I don't know if it will be Homelander, but I think we kind of said there'd be multiples. But I thought we said kind of start with a big one and then bookend it,
Hmm.
and obviously start with Starlighter. I could see Huey, maybe if he find, especially if people keep saying Homelander and as strong as Homelander or could kill Homelander, or sorry, not Huey, sorry, Butcher. If he gets any word that there is like another Homelander type killing weapon out there, because I don't know if his powers could do that, I could see him making the trip out to help her, and maybe in a situation where all her friends leave her because she keeps leaving her or leaving them and using them, and they don't like that. If she's alone, perfect time for Butcher to kind of swoop in and sweet talk her in a sense of, hey,
Hmm.
we could make your life better. Wouldn't it be better if things weren't shit, people like Vaught weren't running things? Well, who's the top of Vaught right now? That's Homelander. If you help me, so there's multiple lines we could go down. I just don't know what we will be doing, so we'll see next week, and I promise you it'll not